Hey there, my friend. Have you ever wanted to speak English, but suddenly your mind went blank? You know the words, you understand everything, but when it's your turn, silence. Your heart beats faster. You feel your face getting warm. You want to speak, but something inside says, no, don't. You might say it wrong. Sound familiar? Yeah, I've been there too. When we try to speak another language, we often feel this small voice in our head, the voice of fear. It says things like, what if I make a mistake? What if they don't understand me? What if I sound stupid? And you know what? That voice is normal. It happens to everyone, even people who seem so confident. That tight feeling in your chest, that nervous laugh, that fear of saying the wrong word. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you care. You care about communication. You care about doing it well. You care about connecting with people. So first, take a deep breath. You're not broken. You're just human. Now here's something important I want you to remember. Maybe even write it down. Confidence doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from speaking anyway. Let me say that again, slowly. Confidence doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from speaking anyway. You don't need to wait until your grammar is perfect. You don't need to wait until your accent disappears. You just need to start, step by step, word by word, moment by moment. Every time you speak, you grow a little stronger. Every time you try, you become a little braver. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about how to speak to anyone, with calm, with clarity, and with real confidence. Even if your English isn't perfect yet, we'll learn how to relax your mind, prepare small ideas before speaking, start conversations naturally, and build confidence little by little, in English and in life. Does that sound good? All right, you're in the right place, because by the end of this episode, you'll understand that confidence is not something you're born with. It's something you build, one sentence at a time. Now, let's talk about confidence. What is it, really? Most people think confidence means never feeling nervous. They imagine a confident person as someone who always knows what to say, who never makes mistakes, who speaks perfectly every time. But that's not true. Confidence isn't the absence of fear. It's the courage to speak even when you feel afraid. Let's slow down and think about that. When you feel nervous before speaking English, that's not a sign that you're bad at it. It's simply your body saying, this matters to me. You care. You want to do it right. And that's a beautiful thing. Here's a small truth I want you to remember. Even native speakers make mistakes. They forget words. They say or They repeat themselves. But they keep going. That's the secret. They keep speaking. They don't wait to be perfect. Confidence grows when you act first, not when you wait to feel ready. You can't think your way into confidence. You have to practice your way into it. Say it with me slowly. I build confidence when I speak. Good job. Again, I build confidence when I speak. That's it. Let me share a little story. There was a student who understood English well, but never spoke in class. Every time she tried, her voice shook. One day, she decided to change something small. She said just one sentence in every lesson. Sometimes she said it slowly. Sometimes she made a mistake. But she said it anyway. After a few weeks, her teacher smiled and said, "You sound different now." She laughed and asked, "Why?" And the teacher said, "Because now you sound free." That's the power of small steps. Confidence doesn't come all at once. It grows each time you open your mouth and try. So if you're listening to this and thinking, "I'm not confident yet," remember, you don't get confidence by waiting for it. You create it by practicing, slowly, step by step. Start small. Say one English sentence today. Smile when you do it. Don't worry about the grammar. Focus on the feeling, that little spark that says, I can do this. Because you can. You're already doing it now. By listening, by learning, by showing up. And that's how confidence begins. Not with perfection, but with presence. Now that we understand what confidence really means, let's move to something practical. How to build it in daily life. Step 1. Prepare small stories. Before you speak, take a minute to prepare your mind. Think about 1 or 2 small things you can share in a conversation. Maybe something you did this week. Maybe something you learned or enjoyed. For example, yesterday I watched a funny movie. I tried a new cafe near my home. It rained all morning, but I still went for a walk. Simple, right? These short ideas are your conversation toolbox. They help you feel ready, not frozen. Try this now. Think of one thing that happened this week. Say it softly out loud. Go on. You can pause this episode and say it. Good job. That's it. You're already practicing speaking. When you prepare small stories, your brain feels calmer. You don't have to search for words in panic because you already know what to say. Step 2. Start simple. Now let's talk about starting a conversation. Many learners think they need deep, interesting topics. But no, you just need simple, real words. Confidence doesn't mean saying something smart. It means saying something. You can begin with what's around you. It's a beautiful day. This coffee smells good. It's busy here today. These sentences are small but powerful. They open the door. They say, hey, I'm friendly. I want to connect. Try saying one of these now. It's a nice day today. Good. Say it again, but with a little smile in your voice. Perfect. Small talk is not small. It's how confidence begins. One hello at a time. Step 3. Practice every day. Confidence doesn't come from thinking. It comes from doing, again and again. So try one short conversation every day. It could be with a friend, a classmate, or even the barista at a cafe. Say good morning, or how are you today? These tiny moments matter. Each time you speak, your fear becomes smaller. Each time you practice, your voice becomes stronger. Don't wait for big chances. Use small ones, because small talk builds big confidence. Reflection. Let's pause for a second. Think about these 3 steps again. Prepare small stories. Start simple. Practice every day. They may sound easy, but they work. And the more you repeat them, the more natural they become. So next time you meet someone, don't hide your English. Use it. Even one short sentence can change your day. And maybe your confidence forever. Remember, you don't need to be perfect to sound confident. You just need to keep speaking, slowly, kindly, and bravely. And that's it. That's how you start building everyday confidence. In the next part, we'll learn something just as powerful. How to listen with confidence so your conversations feel real, warm, and easy. Now that you've learned how to speak with more confidence, let's talk about something just as important: listening. Most people think confidence is about talking more. But actually, real confidence also comes from listening well. When you listen carefully, you connect deeply. You understand people better. And you make every conversation easier and more natural. Why listening builds confidence. When you really listen, your mind becomes calm. You don't rush to find words. You're not worrying, what should I say next? You're simply present. and something magical happens. When you focus on the other person, your fear starts to fade. Because confidence isn't about showing off. It's about connecting. It's about saying, I'm here. I care about what you're saying. Tip 1. Listen for feelings, not just words. Here's the first secret. Good listeners don't just hear words. They listen for feelings. For example, someone says, I had a long day. You could just say, oh. Or you could respond with empathy, you must be tired. See the difference? One answer ends the conversation, the other keeps it alive. When you respond with understanding, people feel safe. And when they feel safe, you feel more confident too. Tip 2. Mirror and respond naturally. The second tip is simple. Mirror. It means repeat or reflect a small part of what the other person says. If someone says, I love cooking, you can say, really? I love cooking too. Or, what do you like to cook? If they say, I'm learning guitar, you can say, that's cool. I want to learn one day. When you mirror people, they feel heard. And when they feel heard, they enjoy talking to you. That's how real conversations grow. Naturally, softly, step by step. Mini practice. Let's practice together. Repeat after me, slowly. That sounds nice. Really? Tell me more. I understand. Wow, that's interesting. Good job. You're not just learning phrases. You're learning how to connect. So remember this. Listening is not just waiting for your turn to speak. It's being fully there with someone. When you listen with your heart, your English becomes more natural. You stop worrying about mistakes. You start feeling present. That's the real confidence, not speaking louder, but understanding deeper. Now, in the next part, we'll talk about the final step, how to end a conversation with grace. And leave a kind, confident impression every time. We've learned how to start conversations. We've learned how to listen with confidence. Now let's talk about the last step, how to end a conversation with grace. This part is often forgotten, but it's a big part of sounding confident and kind. Because confidence isn't only about how you begin, it's also about how you finish. Why ending matters. Sometimes we don't know when or how to end a conversation. Maybe it starts to go in circles. Maybe you need to leave, but you don't want to sound rude. So you stand there, smiling, thinking, what do I say now? Don't worry. This happens to everyone, and here's the good news. You can end a conversation politely, clearly, and with grace. Grace means being gentle and respectful, leaving a positive final feeling. When you end with grace, the other person feels appreciated. And you feel calm and confident too. Tip 1. Be kind and simple. You don't need big words, you just need a kind tone. Here are some easy ways to say goodbye. It was nice talking to you. I should get going now. I need to go, but it was great to see you. Hope to see you again soon. Short, polite, and warm. Let's practice one together. Repeat slowly after me. It was nice talking to you. Good job. Now smile as you say it again. It was nice talking to you. Perfect. You see? It sounds natural, friendly, and confident. Tip 2. Add a positive closing note. If you want to sound even more thoughtful, add a small, friendly comment before you leave. For example, I enjoyed our chat about travel. Good luck with your project. Have a lovely weekend. These phrases show that you were listening and that you care. When you say goodbye this way, you don't just end the talk. You complete it. You leave the other person smiling. Reflection. So remember, confident communication isn't only about speaking perfectly. It's about energy. It's about the feeling you leave behind. Start with kindness, listen with presence, and end with grace. When you can do these three things, you'll never need to worry about awkward endings again. You'll walk away knowing, I spoke with honesty, I spoke with warmth. And that's enough. And that's the kind of confidence I believe you can build. Step by step, word by word. Now, before we close, let's review some useful words from today's episode. Repeat them slowly with me and think of how you can use them in real life. Confident, sure about yourself. Example, I feel confident when I speak slowly. Awkward, uncomfortable, or strange. Example, the silence was awkward, but I smiled anyway. Genuine, real, honest, not fake. Example, people like you when your smile is genuine. Grace, calm and kind behavior, especially at the end. Example, she ended the conversation with grace. Mirror, to repeat or reflect what someone says to show understanding. Example, he said he loves cooking, and I mirrored him by asking, what do you like to cook? Good job. Say one of these words out loud now. That's it. The more you speak them, the more they become yours.